this new house can be a little bit more entertaining and a little bit more comfortable than the last one. Yeah, that one do. Okay, that's a weird sign, but whatever. Wow, this room is actually good. Huh, so my bedroom can talk. Okay, at least I have someone to talk about. Oh? Oh, hi! Are you living here? Yeah, we are. Huh. We also pay the rent here, but don't worry, we're not going to interfere with anything you do, so by all means, feel comfortable. Okay, that's weird, but I'll take it. Alright, let's get back to work. Alright, that's not much better. Hi everyone, I'm Enrique and I'm your reviewer back into a new place. And as you can see, well, it's a lot more comfortable than the last one. A little bit small, but hey, it's very cold outside, so I need all the warm places and small places I can get. So this is actually very comfortable for me to be in. So all I can say is that I will miss my last place, but I will say that being here now, I could create new memories, happy memories, and nothing out of the ordinary than my. What the hell? Oh my god. I figured. You know, I was so expecting to be beginning this video on a happy note, but as you can see, I have an unbelievable and ungrateful invited guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Adam.
That's right, the man in black is here. Now, let me ask you a question. Did I heard a rumor that you were going to review my movie?
Yes, I am indeed going to review your movie, Black Adam. I have to do it in order to come across my opinions.
Well, good. I just hope that your review doesn't come across as angry or even obnoxious because I heard a lot of critics saying that. And I heard a lot of critics using their anger in order to come across their opinions. And I just hope you're not one of them.
So what's the problem? Look, just because you don't like the criticism of every people or anyone in the world doesn't mean they're entirely right or wrong. So all I can say is this. I'm going to come across my opinions. I'm going to share my thoughts on your movie, and I have to do it because this is what I do. I cannot lie.
Good, I hope you are honest, because keep in mind, I whip their ass of any critic who criticizes my movie. And keep in mind, I know that you didn't saw it on theaters. So Be aware of that.
Look, I saw your movie. I didn't saw it in theaters, but I did saw your movie. So, for the love of God, just let me talk about the movie. Now, it's possible that you don't know who Black Adam is, but you do know who the actor who's playing Black Adam is. So, allow me to give you some history. The history of Black Adam, in movies at least, comes like this. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, already becoming a huge movie star in Hollywood, wanted to, for years, make a Black Adam movie. Now, let me say this for the record. He's not a fan of the Shazam story or Captain Marvel back then history. He's more of a fan of Black Adam himself. After all, he's powerful, he has the powers of the gods, he doesn't care about laws or even any restrictions. He considers him a good and great anti-hero. Now, it's no surprise for everyone to think that Dwayne Johnson spent 4 years, even in the DCEU in their first stages to becoming a cinematic universe, that he wanted to create Black Adam. He spent years wanting to do this movie, especially considering the fact that Henry Cavill might find him as Superman. After a few years and minor hiccups here and there in the DCEU or DCU, Black Adam finally got his comic book movie, and he finally got to show that he can be part of the DC universe. And Dwayne Johnson was so excited to make this movie, so he basically gave everything to this movie. Now, with that being said, what are my thoughts on the movie? Well, for that, let's talk about the plot.
5,000 years ago, Kahndaq was a melting pot of culture, wealth, power, and magic. Yet most of us had nothing, except for the chains around our necks. Kahndaq needed a hero. Instead, they got me. I did what it needed to be done, and they imprisoned me for it. Now, 5,000 years later, I'm free, and I give you my word, no one will ever stop me again.
Did you just use your promo for 2020 in order to talk about the plot of the movie? Because you know there's more, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to explain this movie for me? Because keep in mind that I am the star, so I know what happens in the movie. But just in case someone didn't listen the first time, why don't you tell them the plot? At least if you know what it is.
Okay, whatever. I'm going to say the rest of the plot if you don't mind. So let me give you a little insight of what the movie is about. In the city of Kahndaq, a woman called Adriana Tomas is looking for the crown of Saba until the Intergang intercepts her, in which she releases Black Adam into the world. Which, after that, it caught the attention of everybody, not just for the Intergang, as well as Amanda Waller, but also the Justice Society of America, in which they have a duty to stop Black Adam from destroying everything. Which is not exactly what happens in the movie, because he is more about stopping invaders to destroy Kahndaq. So it's basically a battle for ideas, in which whether Black Adam should join the side of good or evil, even though since we know that this is Dwayne Johnson and he's not going to play the bad guy ever again, he's pretty much on the side of good. But needless to say, the mission of Black Adam is simple. Save Kahndaq from any invader, including those who are in the city, especially the Justice Society of America and some demonic demon.
That's right. I crossed the line about killing people as well as being a protector for Kahndaq. I know exactly what I have to do to protect it. And I know the consequences, but I don't care because I will do whatever it takes to protect my people. And no one will ever stand in my way. Not even you, not even the Intergang.
Yeah, but you're not exactly doing some anti-hero stuff, right? I mean, you kind of have to admit what you're doing is not that different.
Oh, please. This is the DC universe. They have ideologies and ideas about heroes who don't kill. I break the norm. I actually do get results by killing the bad guys. I mean, come on. You think I'm not that different from any other hero or anti hero or villain? You're full of crap.
If you don't think that, allow me to explain that by explaining the other subject, casting characters. Now, let's come across one of the parts that many people have split up, and that is the characters that are in this movie. So let's talk about first the bad ones. I don't mean villains, just the ones that didn't work as a whole. Starting, of course, with, well, the villain of the movie. Now, I don't know this name's actor, and excuse me if I don't know this man, because I know that this guy played Jafar in the Aladdin remake movie. But for whatever reason, he always comes across as bland or even unimpressive. Like, this guy played Jafar in the live action movie, yet he doesn't come across as dominating or intimidating. He just comes across as a weaselly guy, which may be that idea of this movie, but for whatever reason, they don't do much to make him like something interesting or even that special. Hell, his backstory could be anyone's. And the fact that he turns into a CG monster doesn't help matters as well. But I'll say this, he looks more intimidating as a CGI monster than in the Aladdin movie. But with that, yeah, he's not an impressive villain. So let's talk about the other two characters that didn't work for me. Nick Sindel and Quintessa Sindwell as, of course, Atom Smasher and Cyclone. These are the two members of the Justice Society of America. And let's be honest, they don't feel special in this movie. I mean, Atom Smasher can turn into a giant guy, and Cyclone has the powers to create storms. And it's needless to say, she's also a hacker, which I don't know why it's in this movie. Hell, it doesn't come into play at the plot, so it's just a quirk that she has, but not an impressive one. And the saddest thing about this is that this would have been a great opportunity for them to develop in this movie. Really think about it. In the comics, Atom Smasher joins Black Adam because he sees the ways of killing people and eradicating all crime by any means necessary, especially brutal force, as a good thing. This could have been a great opportunity to show Atom Smasher seeing Black Adam ways and see how effective they are for him. While Cyclone could also see that, but in a negative way, putting the Justice Society in a much more interesting but peculiar kind of situation, which what will they choose? Not killing or killing? Which I know in this universe, killing is pretty much not exactly the most interesting factor because, well, I'll get into that in a few minutes. But yeah, those two characters, needless to say, they are pretty much either comic relief sidekicks or just hackers. And honestly, it feels, I don't know, how can I say this?
Just say it.
Now let's talk about the characters that kind of fall in the middle. Adriana Tomas and her son Amon and brother, in which, in my opinion, well, they actually do their jobs great. It's just that there is not much. I mean, Adriana Tomas talks about the history about Black Adam and how his history develops. But she doesn't have enough chemistry, or I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to point what the character is about. I mean, she's a freedom fighter, but is also a mom, but she doesn't have enough contributions to the plot, especially in the final act. Her son Amon does have more of a connection with Black Adam. After all, this is pretty much similar to what they do with Terminator 2: The Judgment Day, in which Amon and Black Adam form this friendship that almost can resemble the ones in John Connor and the Terminator in the second movie. But other than that, this kid is much more like a plot device more than anything. But he does his job well, and well, it is pretty enjoyable to watch. He does have this charisma to his role of Amon, and hopefully in the future he can develop a lot more. Adriana's brother, on the other hand, he's pretty much like the comic relief sidekick. It's not like Economos that is completely useless. Actually, let me take that back because Economos is a lot more useful in the DC universe than the brother of Adriana is. So take it for what it's worth. Now let's talk about the three things that for me it worked. Even though the last one is going to have major problems, and you know what they are. Let's talk about Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. Now, I grew up watching the James Bond movies with Pierce Brosnan in them, and I have to say, he does his job as Dr. Fate well in this movie. I mean, he actually comes across as a wise man trying to help Black Adam in his time of desperation and doubt. I mean, he's trying to very much to keep the team of the Justice Society together because he sees the future and he has all the powers in the world. It's just that he feels a little bit tired and he wants to see the next generation to succeed in any form. And I have to say, Pierce Brosnan does come up as great as the role of Dr. Fate. And I have to admit, I have to enjoy his performance a lot because he's wise but calm, but he's also very action-packed and very enjoyable to watch. And you might say he's kind of like the heart of the group of the Justice Society. Now let's talk about the man who plays Hawkman, Aldous Hodge. Now this guy at the beginning I thought he was going to be the sourpuss who was always against Black Adam's ways, but in this case I have to say I like this version of Hawkman. He's pretty much the tough cop that doesn't bow to anyone and will do the right thing at the end. But this actor Aldous adds some of a charisma to his role. He's not 100%, a serious guy who is basically trying to maintain or stop Black Adam to killing people, but he's also not 100% goofy as well, or even idiotic. In my opinion, he's actually a much better version of Hawkman than, let's say, Legends of Tomorrow, of course. So, this guy is actually more confident, more well structured, and even more emotional than the other ones. Hell, his fate in this movie is about accepting his fate of dying, only to figure out that that's not the destiny he deserves. That the destiny of his is to lead the Justice Society. I will say this, his mansion and his jet might come across as X-Men-ish. All I am saying is, if Marvel and Fox are suing you for using their looks for this movie, don't be surprised. Now let's talk about the part that many people enjoy, but I will say it does have its problems. Death Adam, aka Black Adam, played by none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
How dare you say that I have problems? How dare you say that I'm not a good character? Are you actually implying that I'm the worst thing about this damn movie?
No. Look, let me just give my thoughts on the character before you start beating the hell out of me, please. Let's just understand my position, please.
Fine. You have 5 minutes to convince me otherwise.
Okay, so let's talk about Death Adam's history. 5,000 years ago, Death Adam was a slave man who had a family, but his son becomes the new power Shazam kind of hero. But this kid called Hoodus gives his powers to his father, which end up killing him. Now it's up to Black Adam to honor his son's memory and stop the criminals as well as all the bad beings in conduct from developing. and after being in prison for 5,000 years and being released into the world, he's a little bit confused, kind of like in a very Terminator Thor kind of thing, fish out of water kind of character, but he still comes across as badass, and he will do anything in his power to protect those who are good people. Well, let me make this part clear for all of you, especially you. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is actually a charismatic actor. I'll dare even say is pretty much in the same similar position as Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I have to admit, most of the time, he can be very charmful, funny, and even badass. But let's talk about what the character Black Adam needed in this movie. And that is a little bit more dramatization, if I will. Don't get me wrong, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a badass. But one element that is missing, especially in his movies, is an element of sadness, dramaticness. Let me explain that. Dave Bautista and John Cena played their superhero characters with a bit more than just comedic roles as well as funny one-liners. They do have their dramatic moments. They know how to come across a sad moment expertly. They do know when it is a sad moment, it's a sad moment. When it's a somber moment, it's a somber moment. So basically what I'm trying to say is that Dwayne doesn't have that. In this movie, while things happen to him, they don't exactly come across as, sad or dramatic to him. It's pretty much like he's giving an angry stare and he's going to kill you. Which I know, the point of Black Adam is to make him an intimidating force, but you have to also make him human because he's pretty human. I mean, this guy lost his family. He lost his entire world. And he was in prison for 5,000 years. You would think with a guy like him will come across more sad or even more angrier or even more, going through a gamut of emotions is what I'm saying. Black Adam should be a tragic character that should be using his powers to do some good, but without any kind of a superhero aesthetic. And besides, in this movie, they're trying to imply that he's an anti-hero because he kills bad guys, but here's the thing. After seeing all the DC movies that have been coming across as, dramatic and mopey, most of the characters either kill their enemies in a very dramatic or even gruesome way. I have to say this, Black Adam comes a little bit tame compared to those. Because those killings happened and it doesn't make us think that Black Adam is any different from all the others.
Come on, are you trying to tell me that I'm not the best part of this movie? Are you trying to say that I'm the worst part just because I don't show humanity or emotions? I mean, come on, I'm a freaking killer. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Tuck the bad guys out of bed? Or maybe having an emotional connection with one of them?
Look, I'm not saying that your character is bad, far from it. It's a very entertaining part. It's just that it needed a bit of an edge, don't you think? I mean, let's face it, Black Adam is a dramatic character as well. He lost his entire world and he also has his own complexities. It's just that you seem to be focused on making him look more badass than you are as human. Hell, even in the comics did that.
Oh please, nobody reads comic books. Only you and that hat-wearing jackass with a toy gun that he uses in his reviews. I mean, come on. Comics is not something that many people watch every day.
Look, all I'm saying is that while Black Adam is a great action character, it needed a bit more. That's all I'm going to say, okay?
Okay, fine. I can appreciate your honesty. In fact, I actually appreciate your honesty, even in the face of destruction for you. Now keep in mind, this isn't over, so I'm gonna keep watching and see if your opinions then change.
So, with that being said, let's talk about the production of this movie. I think it goes without saying, but the aesthetics of this movie is actually pretty good. I'm glad that they're taking place in a more Israeli place, in an Israel country kind of like. And most of the aesthetics on the heroes, especially in the Justice Society, they look pretty good. And Black Adam looks as good as it was in the comics. I like the aesthetic they're going through. It's a little bit more Shazam-like, but it has more an Egyptian kind of look. So I appreciate the aesthetics. The CG effects might be hit and miss sometimes, but I do appreciate what they can do in CG world. And they do make Black Adam look intimidating in this movie with all the lighting they added to him. And I will say this, the action sequences are pretty good, just nothing that we haven't seen before. Especially when we saw a lot of superhero movies in the past. But it's still good, to say the least. I have to say, the music on this movie is actually pretty good. Lauren Wolf is actually the composer for all the music in this movie, and I have to say, it's actually pretty good. The Justice Society one is one of my favorites in my opinion. In fact, it comes across as majestic, but also very badass.
Yeah, the music in this movie is actually pretty cool. My music makes me look such a badass, and it makes me look better than Superman.
Well, I'm glad that you actually like it.
But I also think you should like my music as well. I mean, I'm all for that you like the Justice Society music, but you should like my movie as well.
Look, your music is good, it's just that I appreciate the Justice Society a little bit more.
Are you saying that our music is bad?
Whoa, calm down, calm down. Look, your music, your theme music, is good. Just calm down a little bit. I need to get my thoughts on the post-credit scene, okay?
Okay, fine. Whatever. Just keep talking.
Okay. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the most controversial part of the movie, which I know, to say the least, is not as controversial as you think. Well, let's talk about it. The post-credit Black Adam movie credit scene. After Black Adam sees conduct from Savak, it is implied that Amanda Waller has connections to the DC heroes in order to fight Black Adam, if anything, to stop him. And, well, he cuts the attention of a certain superhero himself, Superman.
Huh. So he finally shows up. Well, I can only wait to see him and fight him and kick his ass. I'm sure he will beg for my mercy, which I don't have for him.
Okay, I have one question for you, Black Adam, and please don't get upset, but why wasn't Shazam in this movie?
Who are you talking about?
Shazam, Billy Baxton, the guy who also has your powers, but is also an effective superhero, the one who doesn't kill?
Oh, you mean that kid? Yeah, I couldn't put it in this movie.
What, you didn't put him in this movie, but you put Superman? Why not both? Why not include Shazam in this movie as well? Besides, your character has a connection with you. He has the powers of the gods. He also has the same suit as you, only red. And in my opinion, you two have different ideologies.
You think people will actually watch me fighting Shazam? Please, Shazam is not even in the same level as Superman. And besides, I'm actually more stronger than Shazam, so you probably should say that I'm actually the Superman of the gods. Face it, kid, if there's one movie that people wanted to see, it's me fighting Superman. And let's face it, if we will make $1 billion, imagine all the crossovers, imagine all the destruction we can cause. think about what we can accomplish by just being there at the same time.
I guess it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you include Superman with Henry Cavill in the part, so I can't complain.
Exactly. So, you're welcome.
Shame that he's not going to be in the next movie. Or hell, there won't be a sequel either.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, didn't you know? James Gunn is now in charge, well, ish, and he fired Henry Cavill as Superman. And with that, Dwayne Johnson didn't want to be part of your universe as well, so there's no Black Adam sequel planned. I guess Dwayne Johnson got his wish. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe just changed.
How can not be a sequel for my movie? How can there not be a Superman crossover with me? How can Henry Cavill be fired in such a cavalier manner? How can this happen? How the hell am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to make millions of dollars?
Whoa, calm down. Look, I'm upset as you are, but it was ultimately the decision of James Gunn and the studio. You can't fault them.
But how am I supposed to make people watch my movie? How can I convince people that I'm a legit character in the DC universe?
Look, all I'm saying is this. The universe that you inhabit was a disaster, and outside of a few good things, it needed a little bit help.
I can't believe this is happening. Not only did my movie bomb at the box office, but I ain't never going to have a sequel or even a crossover with Superman. I will never be able to kick his ass. I can't believe this is happening. I failed my family and I failed my fans. I am such a failure. Maybe I should resign my powers.
Look, all I'm saying is this. It is sad that you're not going to be in another movie, but you have to look at the bright side. Dwayne got a movie about you done. And I would have wished that Black Adam was part of the DC universe. Hell, if I have to speak personally, I wouldn't have you fight with Shazam or even Superman. You know who should you have been fighting with? Or at least make a crossover with?
Yeah? Who?
Well...
Are you talking about the Peacemaker?
Oh yeah, definitely him. Yeah, I'm pretty much copying what Johnson and Dwayne Johnson did and the WrestleMania feuds that they have, but how can I not say no to that crossover? I mean, granted they're not in the same level of power, but let's face it, John Cena's Peacemaker with Black Adam's Dwayne Johnson, it would have been a great movie. Hell, a great crossover in my opinion. Two behemoths with the same ideologies, but with different ways to accomplish those goals. So, it would have been fun, don't you think?
You do realize that I have the powers of a god and he is just a mortal. I could just squash him with my pinky finger.
Look, all I'm saying is that your movie got done and I wish this would have happened, personally. Now, could I please get my thoughts on the movie overall?
I suppose I should do that. You have been honest in this video, so it is only honorable that I let you finish. So, go ahead, Enrique. Finish your thoughts.
Okay, let's end this. So, at the end of the day, when all the smoke is clear, what do I think about this movie? Well, it is fun, just that is nothing special. Okay, let me make that clear. While this is a good DC action movie, this is still the same movie that we have seen in other variations. Hell, Marvel has done that even more than DC, And they already have more things to show than Black Adam. All I'm saying is this. This movie was probably nothing special, but it was a good popcorn film. And I have to say, it is sad that we're never going to see a development of Black Adam as a character, because I know it's there, but the DC universe has different plans, and James Gunn is going to take the franchise into another direction, and hopefully something that is very consistent. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to be sad and upset that this movie is not going to have a sequel. I understand that. And I understand that you're not going to see Black Adam face Superman in another movie, but it is what it is. All I can say is this. Dwayne Johnson is a great charismatic actor. Just that he needs a little bit more to make this anti-hero a little bit more human. So that's my opinion. The Black Adam movie is nothing special, but it's not a bad movie overall.
You know, I'm just glad you gave it a glowing review, or at least a happy review about this movie. But I'm still upset. I mean, I said a long time ago that the hierarchy of power in the DC universe will never be the same again. But now, this is not what I intended. This is not what I imagined. And now I had to be out of the DC universe for now? It's just depressing for me.
Look, I understand you're upset, but it is what it is. And who knows, maybe in the future you will have a movie, another one. One that will make you the Bell. One that will make you fight Shazam. Or hell, maybe an animated movie in which you will show what much you can offer to the DC universe. It's not over for you, and chances are Black Adam is not done yet. At least, not in the meantime.
You may be right. I mean, it's not the end of me. I should just accept that my movie was made and just move on with my life. And at least I'm the protector of conduct, so I can't complain. Well, I gotta go now. I had to pay a visit to that nostalgic guy that he reviews movies. I hope he doesn't say anything bad about my movie. But him, I have no sympathies for. So, goodbye.
Okay. Bye. I feel bad for him. Well, he'll bounce back. They all do in the end. Well, that was my review of my new place. Hopefully we don't have another integrated guest. But for now, I'm being Enrique, and I'll see you guys next time.